Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We're Screwed. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, Old Boy James Ash and Andy Andrews. How y'all doing?
What's up? Doing good.
How's everyone doing? Doing good.
On tonight's episode, we got something that's got me a little fired up. I'm quite pissed off, and usually it's good ratings when I'm quite pissed off because I get to rant like a crazy fucker, and y'all seem to enjoy it, I guess. But tonight's episode is going to be about that piece of shit Diddy. Fuck Diddy. That's what I got to say about that motherfucker. We've all seen the video of him beating the ever-loving shit out of his girlfriend at the time and dragging her back down the hall by her hair. The reason he had to do that, the reason she was leaving, was because he was having one of his freak-off parties and they were trying to pass her around like a joint. And she wasn't into that. She didn't want to do it. So she tried to split to get away from that and all the abuse. She'd been getting beaten and raped and stuff like that by him and his friends for quite a while. And she's trying to escape. So she made a phone call and tried to bail. He caught her at the elevator, come running out buck naked in a towel, walloped the ever-loving shit out of her, kicked her several times, and dragged her by her hair back down the hall. We've all seen that video. So if it was just that and nothing else, I would still say fuck Diddy. He's a piece of shit because a man don't do that. A man doesn't beat a woman. You know, only a bitch beats a woman. So fuck him for that. But that's not it. As of date, there's 120 women that are signed on to this case. 120 women that say that he got them severely intoxicated with drugs and alcohol to the point that they could no longer make rational decisions or defend themselves. And then he raped them and passed them around to his friends to be raped and hired male prostitutes to rape them as well. And while doing all this, he videotaped it all. He filmed everything. If that was it, then also fuck Diddy. But wait, there's more. And this is where it gets dark. This is where it gets terrible. We're dealing with kids here, too. According to all the different lawsuits in this case, there are, as of date, 25 different underage girls that have claimed that Diddy got them intoxicated, took advantage of them, raped them, passed them around to his friends to be raped, and had male prostitutes rape them. And he filmed all of it. Now, if you remember correctly, during the raid, when they raided his home, they took a bunch of tapes with them when they left. So they have all this evidence. They have these tapes that all these people are claiming that he did these things and recorded it. They have the film. They have the tapes. So Diddy, they asked his defense attorney if he was going to put Diddy on the stand to try to explain this, to defend himself. And his defense attorney said that they don't think that they could keep Diddy off the stand, that he is so eager to get on the stand and defend himself and to tell everything he knows. Now that's important because I guarantee you Diddy is not the top of the food chain here. He's not the one giving the orders. That's above his pay grade. He's a middleman. You know, this goes all the way back, man, to Epstein. It's the same thing, where they get famous people and powerful people into the party. They get them on film doing horrible shit to kids and stuff like that in order to blackmail them to make them do what they want them to do. And if they don't go along with what they say they have to go along with, or they don't do what they're supposed to do, they're threatened that they're going to be exposed, that they're going to release all this information on them that they have. That's the game. Diddy is another part of that puzzle, just like Epstein was. And the cool thing is the prosecuting attorney gave a press conference. And he said that everybody who's involved in this, every single person, everybody who participated, everybody who watched, everybody who egged it on, everybody who watched and just didn't say anything, right, that just never reported it, all of those people are going to be charged and prosecuted. He said that there are separate indictments for each one of them. So we're definitely going to see those people brought to light. They're going to be brought to justice. They're going to go to trial. We're going to know who they are. He also said he would be releasing a full list of all of the people that are involved, that are going to be charged. And he said that the names on that list will absolutely shock you. So we're talking big name celebrities, we're talking politicians, people like that. Okay? This is just the beginning. Now, we've been talking for years about this. This is the same stuff that got my YouTube channel shadow banned, got me put in almost permanent Facebook jail to where I can't really do much of anything anymore on Facebook. It's because of this stuff. And when I first learned about this years ago, I thought it was bullshit. Okay, I learned about them trafficking children, raping children, killing children, and in some cases, eating children. Now, I know that sounds crazy. If you're watching this right now and you're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I get it. I understand. I was the same way in the beginning. When I first heard about this, I said, bullshit. There's no way that shit is true. That is ridiculous. Eating kids? Fuck you. That's not true. Then I saw it. I have seen evidence of this stuff. It's true. When I first learned it was true, and it was proven to me, I threw up. I puked, man. I vomited all over the floor. I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna be a tough guy here. I fucking puked. It made me sick. I mean, literally made me sick. I puked and then I fucking cried. And I wasn't right for like 2 weeks. I was just all fucked up in the head for 2 weeks from what I'd seen. It was absolutely horrifying. This shit is happening. And this right here is the beginning. This is the beginning of the storm. The storm is coming. Right now, we've got the storm clouds, right? We've got a little bit of thunder and lightning in the background. We're just starting to, the normies, the normal people are just starting to learn about this shit. But like any storm, any bad storm, in the beginning, it's almost pretty. It's like, wow, this is interesting. Isn't this fucking cool? We're going to learn all this stuff. Look, this is some crazy gossip. But as the storm goes on, it gets scarier and scarier and more dangerous. Until partway through a really, really bad storm, you're just kind of hunkered down and cowering in your room like, oh, fuck, I hope this thing passes. I hope this thing don't blow the damn roof off my house. That's the same thing here. This is going to get really, really bad. Now, I don't know if everything will be released. I don't know if the normal public will know everything that took place. But if even half of it gets released, it's going to really shock you. And it's going to mess you up a little bit. It did me. Now, I said that there's politicians involved in this. Other celebrities involved in this. That's true. It's not just one party either. It's not just the Democrats or just the Republicans. It's both. 99% of our government and the governments around the world are dirty. That's what I've said before on this show. That's what I mean. You're going to be shocked by how many people are dirty as hell and evil. Okay, now a little bit to back this up. If you go to the Justice Department site and you look up the sealed indictments, you can see that as of today, there are over 500,000 sealed indictments ready to be unsealed and go to trial. That is a huge number. Each one of those indictments can hold up to 99 defendants. So for each one of those, it could be up to 99 people that are being charged with something, multiple crimes. Now, most likely that every one of them isn't 99 people, right? But let's say, even if it's only 2 apiece, if it just averages out to 2, which I guarantee you the average number is going to be way higher than 2. But let's say it's just 2. That's 1 million people that are going to be charged. That's a lot of people. The truth of the matter is that there is a global, not just this country, a global network of pedophiles that traffic children, they rape children, they kill them, and they eat them. Not everybody does all of those things, but all of those things are done. And it is disgusting. And like I've already said, I know that sounds crazy. Believe me, I get it. I didn't want to believe it either. But it's true. And I've been talking about this for quite a long time. And several of my videos got removed that I talked about this in. And now we're starting to see it. But this is, like I said before, the beginning of the storm. The pain is coming. There will come a time when these people, everybody's going to know what they've done. They're not even going to be able to walk down the street. They're not going to be able to do anything without people just yelling and screaming at them and probably wanting to attack them and stuff because of how bad this stuff is that they've been doing. Now, a lot of these people will take the easy way out. There'll be a lot of suicides that happen because there's a lot of these people that are not going to want to face justice for what they've done. They're not going to want that public embarrassment of everybody knowing what they were involved in. Now, some of them, you know, it might look like natural causes. You know, maybe this one died of a heart attack. This one died of this, that, or the other thing. You know, maybe they'll come right out and say suicide. I don't know. But I know that there are a lot of people are going to check out early to avoid this prosecution. Now, their names will still be known. You'll still know what they did, but they won't be here anymore to have to deal with the outcome. This is way bigger than just Diddy, but Diddy is what we're talking about tonight. And I don't see how anybody can defend that man for what he's done. I mean, maybe it's just people that think that it, you know, that it's just the way music is, because that's what they've been saying. Oh, that's just a musician's lifestyle. You know, that's rock and roll, or that's the rap game. You know, that they just have groupies backstage that are now they're trying to get money off of them. I've heard that so many times from people. The youngest of all of these people, 9 years old. 25 underage girls. 9 years old was the youngest. Remember that. 9 years old. Now, I was a musician for most of my life. Andy was a musician. We've both done big shows. We've both been backstage for big shows, for really known bands, household names. And we've been backstage with them. And I have never in my life seen a 9-year-old girl raped and passed around everybody. That's not normal. Okay, now maybe these people that are defending Diddy, they just don't know the details. But I'm telling you that the details are damning. They're absolutely damning. And remember, they have the evidence. They have the videos. They took them from Diddy's house when they did the raid. A whole giant thing of them. So they have a lot of videos. So they have everything they need on film. Who else do they have on film? That's the question. How many of those celebrities have you been seeing at those parties? Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Owen Wilson was at some. Leonardo DiCaprio was at some. I mean, you have all these big name people that are at these parties. How many of those people are on those tapes? How many of those people are abusing women on those tapes and raping people on those tapes? How many of those people are raping children on those tapes? Yeah. Shit gets real very fast, doesn't it? Now imagine what those people are thinking right now that are on those tapes. Oh, fuck. We're in big shit. What are we going to do? I think that's why they won't let Diddy out. Why they have him locked up until trial. One, they don't want him to be able to intimidate witnesses and have people killed so they don't testify. That's the first part of it. But also the second part of it, I'm sure they're doing it for his own protection. Because a lot of these big name people would rather he just went away. Because if he just died, all of a sudden, if there ain't no defendant, there ain't no case. That's what they're thinking probably. But remember, they have the tapes. So even if Diddy's gone, they have the video evidence of what you've done. You're going to have to pay. Everybody's going to know. Whether you like it or not, there is no stopping it. Nothing can stop what is coming. All of you who have been doing this bullshit, you're going to have to face judgment. You're going to have to face judgment from God Almighty. But you're also going to have to face judgment here on earth. Because we know what the fuck you did. And we ain't letting it go. So with that being said, I'm going to throw over to old boy Randy, whoever wants it, and see what you guys think.
If we must be on the different parts of the screen because he's pointing down to tell me to go. So to begin with, man, P. Diddy. I mean, what kind of a fucking name is that, man? I'm sorry. I just, I've always thought it was kind of stupid. But, also, if I'm correct, this man wasn't much of anybody until actually it was the death of another person. I mean, he was a hangout gentleman, and I know that he helped produce a couple things, but pretty much he didn't come on the scene a whole lot until after Biggie got shot. You know what I'm saying? So that'll tell you kind of the type of person, in my opinion, is to ride on the coattail of somebody's death. But anyway, yeah, I have heard quite a few stories. I follow, a couple podcasts, and one of them is a gentleman that talks a lot about the Hollywood elite and these parties that they have. And all of them have been saying the same thing for years now. Exactly what you're saying. They have talked about the abuse and sexual acts that they have made these people commit. They were drugged out. They were drunk, both. Some of them don't even remember. I mean, it's like, and he was right up in the mix of this stuff, I mean, and then I guess he moved up in the ranks, and then they started letting him have it at his place. I mean, that's what it kind of looks like. I mean, from what I've heard throughout the years, and I do know what they've done. And they actually, I had to turn off. One time I saw a video that somebody had that was captured, and I had to turn it off, man. Yeah, it was not, I mean, what you're saying, that's exactly what was going on. And then I remember not long after that, there was a debate, and I don't know if they still have them out there, but there was cannibalistic restaurants popping out on the West Coast, man, to where you could go out there and you could actually order a person, and but the problem was they didn't know where they were getting the meat from, I guess. They said that some people could donate their body if that's what they wanted done with it. Just gross, man, like nasty stuff like that. But the thing is, I don't know how many people, would really actually donate their body to be consumed by another human. And it's like, I mean, maybe it is. We got worse. I mean, obviously you see what he's done. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people, man, come down for this. And we need to know these people because we are supporting them, even if it's like, buying an album or, buying a movie or going to the movies or, anything like that. Being a politician, if we're supporting them and we're given to their, race or something like that. I mean, you don't know who some of these people are. Like the guy said, it's going to shock you. I've read a little bit of his statement, and you're spot on. That's what he was saying, was that people would be completely shocked at some of the people that are going to be on that list. And what's crazy about all this is you had people, man, that were on TV or they were on in some kind of a position to be able to tell this in a large fashion, that we're saying these things, man, a few years back, if not a little bit longer. I mean, you have people that had been chasing, like Kutcher. He had a big, he had a actual app or program that was, trying to find missing kids that were being trafficked and stuff like that. And Ashton was like, at the point to where he knew where some of these people or their names and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, man, like one evening or one day, he just goes in and gives over this $1 million business that he had started and just drops out of it. He's still in the background somewhere. But the thing was, man, you could tell he even spoke in front of the Senate, the government, and everything. And all of a sudden, man, it went from, and you can tell, man, when people are talking, if they're passionate about what they're talking about, and it's like watching him talk about children and where he went to some of these third world countries, man, and helped take these kids out of, where they were at. And it's like, what do you do and how do you deal with it? So he started the program. Well, the thing is, man, then you have other people out there like Cat Williams that was saying stuff. But also you had some other musicians. Now, this is going to be pushing a little bit of conspiracy theory, but you have, the guy from Lincoln Park. No issues, man. I mean, he had some issues, but all of a sudden it's like Chris Cornell was another one. No issues, man. Calls his family up on the phone. Wife said that they had a great conversation. He was happy. Seemed like he was doing really good. And he had spoken out quite a bit about child trafficking and some of these parties that were going on. And the next thing you know, man, he's gone, and it's like, makes no sense. And then someone that was close with him, the guy from Lincoln Park, all of a sudden, man, and what I don't understand, it's the same way. It's supposedly they commit suicide, which makes Chester didn't seem like that either. I mean, he spoke about it through his music a little bit and stuff, but, I'm not a big fan. So it's like, but what little bit that I did see on that. And it seemed that was starting to be the little bit of the beginning of stuff and maybe got things rolling. I don't know. But the thing is, they have the tapes, man. They know what they've done. And it's going to be people that thought about themselves. They're sick individuals, man. It goes deeper than power and money, man. You just can't tell me, that people, they just do stuff sometimes because they just can. That's not, that's buying a fucking yacht, man, or buying an island for yourself or something like that. That's not an Epstein Island, but I'm saying for yourself, or a yacht, or a big expensive car, or a collection of just something that other people would not find to be cool. Not trafficking children or having these kind of parties and doing these things, man. That is not, yes, it does have to do with power and greed and stuff like that, but there's still something underlying, man, that is absolutely sick. And we have to get individuals like this, man, out of our society. We haven't done enough with child trafficking, in my opinion, and trying to stop it. And we had somebody that was in office that tried to do that to a point. But the thing was, he was shot down early in the situation. So why would you not have some kind of world, band together? I mean, they can do it about wars and everything else, but why are we not protecting these children from getting trafficked? And I can tell you that is money. That's what it's all about. It's all about the money. It's all about the power, playing the game. and you're going to find out that a lot of these people you probably already figured anyway. But then I think you're going to see some of the smaller players in the game that's going to blow people's minds, and they're going to not believe that they have been listening to these people, talk about things that could be even godly, and yeah, man, we're not to judge them. Sure, they got to go before their peers. They got to go before people, their judge. But the thing is, man, there's a special place for these people that they're going when it's all over and done with. And that's exactly what they should do. And in my opinion, what they should do is take each one of their asses to Epstein Island, drop them off with no way to get out of there, no food, no nothing, man, and let them survive on their own. And let them screw each other. You know what I'm saying? Let them kill each other. Let them do what they need to do, but get them completely out of society. Or like the old Stallone movie, man, where they had that, basically couldn't unbreakable prison that was on a ship and stuff like that, out in the middle of nowhere. That's exactly where these kind of people need to go. They need to go out there, and then they need to be tested for what exactly it is that would put such sickness into their systems to do that. And I'm not saying I hate to say it because I'm not that type of person, but, they should be tested and should be poked and prodded for some of the shit that they've done to these kids, man. It's not natural, man, at all. And you kind of look at him like they were showing some pictures of Diddy the other night. And I'm looking at his eyes, man. He looks like he might have a little bit of something wrong with him, too. Like, them eyeballs, man, look like you know how people that just aren't all the way there, their eyes kind of look weird and stuff like that. Now, it could be that was brought on by years of usage, but I'm just thinking you're looking at a person in the eyes, man, and you're thinking, how could you do that stuff? And you just think about what makes a person tick like that, because that's not normal. And, they need to get these people out of society as quickly as possible, in my opinion, because that's exactly right. They're either going to start taking each other out, or they're going to start doing things even worse, because some of them are probably, man, it's an addiction. And some of them are just going to try to do as much as they can before they're taken down. And I hate to say it, man, but it's going to be people that we are just going to be completely, people feeling sorry for him and shit. No, don't feel sorry for him. Feel sorry for the victims, And most victims don't want to feel sorry after they've actually stood up to the one that did things to them. But the thing is, some of them never had a chance to stand up to them. And that's the whole thing. I think that they should release the names, give him the opportunity to get up on the stand and tell his story and tell him how it is. But it's not going to change, in my opinion, the person he is, because I would rather take a bullet to the head, man, than to do something because I was afraid I was going to take a bullet in the head. And they asked me to do something like that, they might as well just take me out right then, because there's no way, man, that I would ever do that. And like you said, man, we both played music. Over the years, man, I've been blessed to have gotten to know some of the big names, to hang out with them backstage, to party with them, to be honest. And never, ever did I ever hear any of them, man, even come up with the fact of doing that to women, or the fact of a child. Now some of the women would come in there as, groupies and want to throw themselves on you, but that's a little different, And I can tell you now, I don't remember if there ever was a time that any of them guys took up the opportunity to do that. Most of them would make fun of the groupie, or they would do something, like they'd pass out and they'd paint on their face or something like that. But not at all did I ever see anybody rape somebody or pass them around to anybody or nothing like that. And so it's not a music thing, man. It's not a Hollywood thing. It's a sick ass individual thing. And that's all I got to say about it is I think he deserves every single thing they're going to do to him and every single one of them that's behind him. But hopefully this will stop at least some of this trafficking and stuff like that. I'm hoping, but it's, you know, some people are still out there fighting for him, man. And it's like, regardless if he comes out and drops every name about him and, you know, helps them catch people or whatever you want to say, I hope that he has no kind of, and I don't know as you might, James, if he has any kind of outside reach from inside the place or if they're keeping him completely just shut down. And, yeah, there's some weird shit, man, going on out here. And this is right at the headlines of it. That's what I think about it.
Thank you, brother. And here comes the most controversial person in the show. Old boy James Ash, and this is going to be a surprise. I actually agree with both of them. Wow, that's going to probably drop some people. Listen, I've never liked P. Diddy. I've always been a Tupac fan. I know he had something to do with it. I don't care. I'll go with the conspiracy theory on this. Tupac said it best about him and Biggie. I think he had them both killed, and Suge Knight was involved in it. But that's getting in some other stuff that you guys didn't talk about was that, and me being into, I like some rap, especially Tupac, but I've never liked P. Diddy. I was always for the West Coast, as crazy as that sounds, West Side till you die, that was me. But I like Tupac, and he always talked shit about Diddy. And he didn't really like Biggie too much to the end, but I think they were both taken advantage of. P. Diddy did a couple songs with Biggie. That's how he got blown up with Mace. And then Mace, if you realize, went to be a reborn-again Christian and a preacher and quit being around all these people. And after Biggie was killed. And then you had DMX and all these other people that came after Tupac was killed and all that. Now, P. Diddy is exactly what everyone is here saying. He's a piece of shit. The video of him beating his girlfriend, that happened, or whatever she was, he did it. I don't care what anybody says, but he's not the only one. JC's done it. They're all involved in that. And he's right. Cat Stevens has said stuff. Too Short has said stuff. E40. That's why they didn't want nothing to do with the music industry. They did it on their own and made their own name. Kind of why Ice Cube got away from this. The same shit. There's a lot of shit going on in the Hollywood, the music industry. It's like you said, it's not them. It's just these certain people who are just doing certain shit because the 1% makes them do it. There's a movie called Salo. It was made in the 70s. And it's a very graphic movie, but it's about the 1% and how evil they really are. And it gets into glorified to the point, and it was made in Italy, that the director was murdered after he made the movie because he was letting certain things go in this movie where it was almost becoming abuse. And one of the actors lost his mind and ran him over. That's what the story is on Salo. But this movie is very foul. It talks about certain individuals who ran the world, and they make people do horrible, nasty things. And there is people like this. I'm not going to get into it, who they are and what they believe. I believe they all have connections with every religion, and it's not just one. They're connected with everything. They run everything. But that's as far as I'm going to go because, like I said, we'll get our show shut down. We might even have something happen to us. That's why you can only say so much stuff. We are shadow banned to a point. I'm a very controversial person on here on TikTok, so I don't give a fuck, and neither does James. But I don't want Andy to lose his job because Andy is the calm of the three. We'll just say that, and he's the conscience of the show. He's a good guy. I'm not. To a point, and James isn't. He's a good guy unless you piss him off, and that's kind of how I am. But we have honor. But P. Diddy's an asshole, and he's getting what he deserved. And the only problem I have is they're going to probably kill him, or something bad's going to happen. They're going to make him look bad. They're not going to let him testify. The same thing's going to happen with what happened with Epstein. They're not going to let him testify, man. He'll be gone. And when you're saying all these, there'll be a few people who go down. They'll throw themselves under. But when you run stuff, it's not going to matter. Like they'll throw the certain people they want to throw under the bus. It's not going to matter. They still run everything. It doesn't matter who wins the presidency. They're still going to run everything. It doesn't matter what people say or they're going to do. They're still going to run everything. And they'll just throw certain people. And I think P. Diddy's the sacrificed right here. They're getting rid of him, but you see P. Diddy's willing to talk and Jay-Z's involved in this. It's going to bring a lot of people down, like James said. The problem is he's not going to get a chance to talk. I can already tell you that. Look what happened to Matthew Perry. You know that he was killed now. They're finding out there's 5 people got arrested now. He was murdered. Some of these people are getting murdered for reasons. I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theory. We all know, if you guys read it online, you got to watch some of this. Some of this is bullshit, though, that people don't really know. And some of it's real. But I will tell you this. There is videos out there. And there's videos of people who are claiming they have videos on people who are also involved in this to get themselves out of trouble. And I will tell you this. Some of the people you would, like James said, you're going to be very shocked. You're going to be very shocked. Even James is going to be shocked. And it's going to change your point of view on believing and trusting anybody anymore. That's one thing I will say, and I will 100% agree with James on this show. I'm going to. This one I will totally agree with him on. But it's going to surprise all you to the point where you don't even know if you're going to trust anything you see anymore. You shouldn't anyway. Just so you know, never trust what you see online. On TikTok especially, or YouTube, whatever. You could trust us, but I know some people are not. They're going to say, you might be working for him right now. Old boy and James just saying shit. Trust me, James isn't working for them. I'm not working for them. If I was working for them, we wouldn't be sitting at this situation right now. We'll be on TV making millions of dollars. That's all I'm going to say on that. And I refuse to do that. I don't hurt kids. I'm against it. I'm very against hurting kids, raping women, hurting kids, raping kids, child molesting. I'm very much against this. Not all evil, not all Satanists are evil as much as people think. There's some of us who are very against raping kids and women and killing animals, and eating people. I'm not for that. That's not me. Not my belief. I'm very much against it. It makes me sick. It makes me sick that people are doing this. And you got to realize something. I don't think some of these people wanted to do this, but they get made to do this. And that's what they get told. They get made to do something, or something will come out on you. You'll ruin your life. They will. They'll find something and they'll say you did it. Most people are so stupid, they don't pay attention. They'll just believe it. And even if you get off later on down the line, your life's ruined. Because they're always going to still think you're a pedophile, you're a rapist, you're a child molester, you're this, you're a woman beater, you do drugs. They'll find something to ruin your life and blackmail you, or they'll get somebody in your family and they'll blackmail them, or they'll kill them. This is the world we live in, and people need to realize this has been going on not just now. It's been going on for hundreds and thousands, probably thousands of years. And you also got to remember, when you're saying trafficking humans, it's against the law here in this country, but it isn't in other countries. Some people don't have the same opinion on human rights as we do, and I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just telling the truth. Look at the Middle East. There's stuff that's going on there. What's that place? Dubai. A lot of people hate that place because there's slavery there. They claim that they're doing a job, but it's slavery. There's slavery in other countries still. So it's happening everywhere. In Thailand, I watched the thing. It gets against the law to sleep with anybody under the age of, their law is 17, I think it is, but they're doing it. They're getting away with it. They do it all the time. The Middle East, they're claiming the law is 12 or 13, but they don't care. People will pretend to, they'll catch somebody here and there, but in other countries, they don't care like we do. We're different, though. We're a different world. We not saying we're better than anybody, but we just see things differently. We don't appreciate pedophilia like some people do, and I don't. I'm against it. Look, in jail, you get your fucking ass killed, or you get protected custody. I'm telling you, when you go to jail, they ask you what your paperwork is, and if it says you're an SA or a chelmo or a woman beater, you get your fucking ass kicked or killed. They'll kill you, especially if you're a child molester. Now, I don't know if you guys have been seeing what they're doing with child molesters. They're doing these videos. They either call the cops or they beat the shit out of you. The only problem is some of these guys that's doing it, they'll get other people involved, and then they record it and not realizing whatever they're doing is fine. But when you get other people off the street, that means you're still, even though I totally agree with it, you're still committed. You're getting people to beat them physically. So that means that instead of calling the police and getting them thrown in jail, you're doing vigilante work, and that's where the government doesn't agree. And I don't. I think it's hilarious. They deserve it. I wish I was smacking them around too, but I'll leave that alone. But that's what's happening now. People are getting called out on this shit all the time. The crazy thing is there's people trying to defend it, like James said, and these people are fucking dumb. I don't get it. Don't make excuses for people who rape kids. I'm sorry, there isn't any. Oh, well, they might have a problem. If they have a problem, go get help. If you think you're going to do something to a child, go get help. Cut your dick off or something, man. Like, go get help. Don't fucking molest kids. But I think some of this is some people have this weird pleasure of watching people suffer. And I think that's what it is. And when you're saying there is billionaires like that, they're so fucking bored. They have nothing else to do. They've done everything. And I haven't done this, so maybe I can do it. There's just people who are crazy and they just have fucked up way of life. They've seen too many crazy things. If you lived in a third world country and you've seen people getting blown up or time, you don't gonna care, bro, like you're gonna care here. That's a whole different story. When you live in war all the time, people are not gonna give a fuck about human beings. I mean, if like the movie The Serbian Film, that's about that. That's like all the weird shit that goes on there in other countries. And people watch this shit and they're into it. There's horror stories. There's like that one guy. I think he will live in Australia. He was making all these horrible things with these kids, man, and had these people involved, and they were all for it, and they were the most evilest people you can imagine. This shit is crazy that people do this shit. They have rings that they go around and they watch it on the dark web. This shit's fucked up, bro. Like, you can never imagine what happens. And if you do, you like you said, James says it makes you sick. It should fucking make you sick, because if it doesn't make you sick of this shit that's on video, then that means you're about it. And I'm sorry, I'm a crazy person. I love crazy ass movies, extreme horror. I've seen people die, but children is a different story. I don't get pleasure of seeing innocents killed, or anybody really killed, unless they deserve it. You deserve it, fuck you, good. But if you don't, like, that's ridiculous. People want to watch people get hurt, but till that happens to them. And if it's somebody they know, it's a whole different story, just like most people are hypocrites. That's just, I'm going to say that happens. But if it was somebody you cared about, or it was you would be having a whole different story. And this happened. That's how people always do. If it was somebody in your family, it'd be a whole different story. If it was your fucking kid, you'd be... I'm sorry, dude. Like, if you fucking touch my kids, dude, we'll leave it at that. I don't even have to say what I do. I'll just leave it at that. Do you even think I'm just saying shit online and I'm not threatening? You fuck with my family or my kids. I don't care. I don't care like most people do. I don't give a fuck. That's a sacred thing to me. And then I'll just leave that, because I get hyped up on this shit to a point, because I had something happen to my grandmother 16, 17 years ago, was murdered by a sex offender. So I have a real issue with this fucking shit, to the point where it pisses me off. And that's why I'm against a lot of this shit, because I've had it happen to somebody I loved that was from California, should have been in fucking jail and wasn't, because of their fucking lax laws. And that's why. Sorry, guys. A lot of people don't know that, but I've had my own issues with this shit. And that's why. And that guy, I can't find... my parents won't tell me who he is. And they know why. But we'll leave it at that. I don't want to talk about that anymore, because that's my past. I absolutely hate rapists. I hate sex offenders, and I hate child molesters and animal killers. I'm against them. And abusive women, I don't like, or men. I'm not going to sit here and say just women. Men get abused too. It's actually 39% of the time men do. And that's another thing I want, because I've known men who've got abused, and it's not funny. So anybody who's getting abused, we'll just leave it at that. and I'm so much against that. I'm sorry I had to go that route, but this brings me to a point where I get furious about this shit, and that's all I'm gonna say, guys.
Yeah, I think we all kind of feel the same way. You know, there is no more vile or evil act than to do these things to a child. And the people that do, they will pay the price. Definitely in the afterlife. You'll have to stand before God. And Jesus himself told you what happens to these people. He said it's better for you to have a millstone around your neck and be thrown in the ocean than to harm one of those children. So to me, that kind of says it all. I think that it should be the death penalty for anybody caught molesting a child or sexually assaulting a child in any way. It should be the death penalty because those people, there is no coming back from that. That's a sickness. They're not going to get better. It's not like you can put them in jail for a year, they come back out, they're okay. That's not the way that works. So I think we all kind of agree. We all kind of feel the same way on that. So let's kind of go around, everybody do their shout outs, and we'll wrap up. So, Andy, do you want to do your shout out first?
So first, I want to tell everybody that I'm going to give a shout out to the people that watch us, to the ones that understand that we're on here and we're deeply opinionated and we do stand behind what we say. But the thing is, we don't hate anybody. We don't, wish anything bad on anybody just because they have a difference of opinion. Now, for some of the actions we were talking about tonight, I have to take that back to saying we don't hate anybody, because there's a difference between disgusted and wishing bad on a person, I guess. But, I just wanted to thank the people that can actually sit here. I've seen some, people say some things about the show and stuff that was all good. They just thought we were a little extreme. Well, the thing is, we are extreme because we're giving our opinions of what we're passionate about. But the thing is, all three of us would do just about anything for anybody out there. So, shout out to the ones that actually see that and don't look at us as like some horrible people. And that's cool. Even if you don't disagree with us, you see us three don't disagree on everything. So, shout out to the ones that actually can be normal and understand that we all have differences. But the biggest shout out that I want to give tonight is my boss actually sent some footage out that was showing individuals down in the Carolinas, especially North Carolina, that were taking their personal helicopters, using their own money to fill up with gas, using their own money to grab water, supplies, and going in and pulling people either out if they wanted to come out and getting them to safety, or giving them, food, water, tablets because these people don't have running water. So obviously, man, the bathroom becomes an issue. So they gave them tablets that dissolve sewage, is pretty much what it is, so they can go to the bathroom, unfortunately, in a bucket. But the thing is, they throw these tablets in there and eventually it, eats away at it and dissolves it. But also shout out to the people, man, that are doing the horrible job of search and rescue with cadaver dogs. And that's some of the stuff that he sent us. Not to be morbid, they didn't show him, collecting anybody, but wanting to show the fact that, he wanted people in our company to actually see the compassion, and that it doesn't have to be about, political stuff, or it doesn't have to be about anything white, black, anything like that. It's a human being thing or an American thing. and which is really cool because he is on the same line as James and I are when it comes to certain subjects and stuff. And so my shout outs to those first responders and the ones that are not getting paid to do just a random, just doing what we should all be doing at some point if we have the ability to help. And, they have a lot of different charities that you can send money to. Just be careful where you put your money at. And so that shout out goes out to them, and it goes out to the ones that saved people and got them back to their families safely. So, I mean, it was, I can't even explain the emotional stuff that I went through, the emotions that I felt watching this stuff. It brought out some things in me that I haven't felt in a long time and made me realize that I've been cold to some things I shouldn't be. And I just want to give a shout out to the ones that are getting ready to get hit in Florida too. Good luck and, Godspeed.
I want to give a shout out to everyone that's going on with Florida and Tennessee and all the people are in Alabama, all the people in Georgia with the floods in North Carolina. I want to tell you, we're all thinking of you. This is a very hard subject because of stuff that's happened in my past, especially with that. The guy who did that, I hope you burn in hell. I'm sorry, and whoever done stuff, I hope you burn or something happens to you. And you know what? I have no sympathy for you. I'm just, that's the kind of person I am. You want to see how I'm fucking controversial as fuck, and I am who I am. And this kind of stuff pisses me off. It really irritates me to the point where I'm the way I am right now. But I want to thank our fans. Thank you. I'm sorry. Sometimes we say some shit that, man, I get it. It's hard to hear, but sometimes it's better to hear the nasty truth than know a terrible, beautiful lie, like you guys like to believe, some of you. It's the world is fucked, and people need to know it. I'm not saying every minute needs to be horrible, but it's the truth. And a lot of people don't get it, what's really fucking going on. And it's not flowers and rainbows and skipping around. I'm not making fun of anybody. The reality of there's fucking evil shit going on in this world. It isn't just P. Diddy. He's just a little bit of the tip of the iceberg of what's going on. And that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed We're Screwed on Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook, and wherever you watch us on. And I want to thank you guys for watching our show. There you go, James.
Yeah, this was a tough show. It was tough subject matter. We got into some stuff that isn't pleasant, and it's not enjoyable to think about, But it's true, and it needs to be known. It's better to see the truth and to act on it, accordingly, than it is to live in a world of lies. Because yes, the lies might be more comfortable because your whole world isn't being blown up, but it's not reality, And you can't just allow evil to take place and not stand against it and not do anything or say anything, The stuff that's going on is horrific. And I know I pray every day about it. And I also pray every day for all of you and for these gentlemen that are on the show with me. I love all of you guys, and I would just humbly ask that if you're one that prays, just throw my name in there. You know what I mean? Just pray that God gives me the wisdom to be able to say what he wants me to say and to be able to give you guys the truth and to have the courage to give you guys the truth. Because some of this shit that we talk about, man, it's kind of scary. You know what I mean? It's not scary like, ooh, there's Wolfman scary. It's scary like you might have somebody come to your house and kill you kind of scary. You know what I mean? Because some of this shit gets kind of heavy. And so I agree with the shout outs that that they gave, to the hurricane victims and the people that are getting ready to get hit, and the first responders, all those people. God bless all of you. I'm praying for you. I hope that this storm isn't that bad. I hope that nobody gets hurt or dies. Um, we'll just have to see what happens. I know from here we're sending out truckloads of stuff. Now, hopefully, it'll actually get to the people that need it. There's a problem of FEMA kind of stealing it and not letting it through, and threatening to arrest people that are trying to help these people, which is absolutely fucked. And I'm kind of behind the scenes dealing with a little bit of that myself right now because I'm trying to send some stuff, and we're having a little bit of an issue getting it to the people that need it, and that's kind of fucked up. Um, I don't know why our government would not want to help those people. Doesn't make sense. Like FEMA spent billions and billions of dollars on illegal immigrants, and now all of a sudden they don't have the money to help American citizens that get hit by a hurricane. That's your fucking job, dude. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be spending billions of dollars fucking putting illegal immigrants up in 4-star hotels, you fucking cocksuckers. You're supposed to be helping the American citizens when they get hit by a hurricane or a tornado or something like that. That's your job. But now they don't have the money for it because they wasted it all on illegals. That's what you get when you vote fucking Democrat. You know what I mean? That's what these fucking people do, man. They're fucking assholes. Anyway, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope it didn't freak you out too bad. As always, if you don't believe us, that's fine. Just wait and see. I mean, the truth will be known. Time will prove us right. It already has on a lot of things. I talked about a lot of things on this show that everybody said was bullshit and conspiracy theories when I did it, and I've been proven right about the Fauci ouchie, about the mask, about all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff I've talked about that I was 100% right on, and I'm right on this too. And you'll see in time. All I would say is make sure you have food, medicine, water, all that kind of shit for like at least 2 weeks. Probably a month or two would be better. Make sure you got what your family needs, kind of stored back just in case, because these people aren't going to go down without a fight, and who knows what the fuck's going to happen. And I can promise you it's going to be bad. What's coming is going to be bad for a little while. So you got to have what you need to get through it, So I'm praying for you. I love you. And we'll catch you on the next one. Till we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.